That's a pretty lofty statement, right?
But that says everything I want to say.
I did it, I did it, I did it.
How might we usually is like the beginning of a story.
That's a trick question.
So I was thinking about this.
Do you really want to know my answer to that one?
Everybody has potential, and there are things getting in the way of that.
The MAP process does give you a time to plan and be more deliberate. That's great. But the tool that we use tends to be a little bit cumbersome.
There's probably more opportunity to be involved in a tool that might do something day to day or week to week or month to month rather than once or twice a year.
I think the MAP tool is probably the most appropriate thing that we could do, particularly back in the 90s or in the last 10 years. But I think that it probably doesn't quite match the mission of what we are all about in terms of unlocking human promise.
If we just could look at it differently and think about it from the perspective of unlocking human promise and inspiring one another.
Because truly probably the biggest asset that we have in this day and age are the minds and hearts of the people that work here.
Whether it's introvert, extrovert, right brain, left brain, creative, analytical, it's important to always kind of balance each of those because everybody's brain works differently and processes information differently.
We've actually been talking recently about the idea of doing more micro reviews that are project specific. You know, how do we come together at the end of a project, have a discussion about how that specific project went, and capture that in a way that we can come back to it and have a broader conversation about all of those projects at the end of the year.
It's not just telling the truth and keeping commitments and acting with integrity, but it's operating with a unique sense of pace and urgency to accomplish those objectives.
So there should be more about teasing that out and setting goals for being a better communicator or being a better coach or being a better strategizer. So something above the technical expertise.
We need to challenge one another, and to challenge somebody else, you need to be able to be challenged yourself.
Did I do as well as I possibly could have done? And I like our chances if I do.
That's a great idea, right? How can we design a MAP system that unlocks human promise, that again pushes you up Mount McKinley, if you will, to say, yeah, I've achieved this, and next year Kilimanjaro, and next year, who knows, the moon, space station, I don't know, possibilities are endless. But just understanding that I really do think the organization supports all of that, and yet the measurement maybe falls short of recognizing that.